With the stock market collapse, many people worry that it could. It's hit all-time high, in fact 30th time that it's hit a high just last week. But of course we've seen on many past occasions when it's hit record highs, all of a sudden it's collapsed by 20 or 30%. In fact, when we look at bankruptcies last month, it was the second highest since 2010. 276 companies went bankrupt in the US last month. Perhaps that's a sign that things are starting to close or slow. Then we look at spending, it's starting to fall off. Retail sales came in lower than expected. If you take the Fed's own model, there's a 52% chance of a recession. But when we look at the economists, they're saying that there's an 82% or 82% of economists say there will be no recession. So what on earth is happening? Well, you'll see in America that there's certain types of companies doing extremely well. Of course, we look at Nvidia just as an example, and companies linked to AI. It seems that efficiencies are here to stay, and that means that those companies in the stock market continue to grow. Can that continue? Well, the answer is yes, it can. Why? Well, even if there's some companies that are struggling, that just is a change in perhaps the economy. And when we see that obviously some people struggling, that's because certain industries again are finding it tough. And you think about it, when we look at the economy, you can see that people feel that there is a recession, hence there's a lower amount of spending. But at the same time, companies, even if they lay off people, they tend to be spending on AI. So we look at it and we see that the Fed wants to cut interest rates. So we feel that actually that's a hedge against the market completely collapsing. And even if the market falls, there's definitely a feeling that people will come in and look for bargains. In other words, what's known is priced into the market. So if you think there's going to be a stock market collapse, it's probably not things that are currently known. In other words, there's not that much downside. That's why the market is continuing to go up. And if something causes a collapse, it's probably something we don't expect. In other words, we should always be prepared. That's why you need to diversify for potential falls in the stock market. That's why it's a good idea to diversify into other assets. But right now, it looks like the market is actually in a good place.